So many questions, so many thoughts, and all of them revolves around confusion. Last year, Hybe and Geffen, familiar names to this channel, announced they will be debuting another global girl group. This is not the first time Hybe and Geffen assembled something like that. After all, they created the group Katseye, who have gone on to become immensely popular and controversial in the same vein. Hybe and Geffen's next girl group is a 4-member band featuring Lexie, Emily, and Samara, all trainees who were previously in contention to be part of Katseye. They were actually featured in the survival competition show. This is a familiar practice for the K-pop training system, which Geffen adopted after they partnered with Hybe. The intention of the partnership is to use the South Korean idol training system to build the talents of these groups. In this process, sometimes when a trainee is not selected to be part of one group, they can be considered for the next group. But you might notice that I only mentioned 3 names. I thought this was supposed to be a 4-member group. Well, Hybe and Geffen announced they would be doing another survival competition show to find this last member of this group, the final piece as they call it. Earlier this year, around February, this show began to air. The show is called World Scout: The Final Piece. And World Scout is kind of funny because the contestants in the show are all Japanese. In fact, this competition show is mostly aired in Japan, and so far only in Japan on the streaming platform ABEMA. By May 12th, the result of the competition was announced. The group's name was revealed to be SAINT SATINE, and the winner of the competition, the final member of SAINT SATINE, is not the fan favorite Ayana. The winner is Sakura, who is 16 years old! Part 1. Who should have they pick? I will give a disclaimer that I haven't actually watched World Scout: The Final Piece. The show is geo-locked and can only be streamed if you're from Japan. And if you plan to watch it through other means, you can't really, because ABEMA, the service where the show streams, are pretty strict and quick to take down any unauthorized sharing of the show. However, I've seen Twitter and Reddit reactions and comments and Ashley Norton's video where unanimously the consensus is that Ayana is the stronger performer and overall better fit age-wise and also just vibe-wise, and Sakura, while she has potential, has a long way to go before she should have debuted. That is not to discredit Sakura, because the thing is, Sakura is still young. She's 16 years old, and as far as we know, she doesn't really have any prior idol training. It's great that she's venturing into something new, but because of this, there's still room and need to refine her skills, especially to be performing in a group like this as well. Compare this to Ayana, who is 19 going on 20, and she had experience being part of this Japanese girl group named Riri Day, and she was also part of Girls Planet 999, which is a South Korean survival competition show. Because of this, many who watched the show kept pointing out that Ayana seems more ready to be part of this group given her experience and skills and also age. But many also noticed the favoritism and the underdog storyline crafted around Sakura. So many had the inkling even before the finale that Sakura will be the final piece. And sure enough, that was the case. I'm going to share my opinion, which is mostly based on the final performances that they did, because those performances are the only materials that I have access to and the only things that Hybe and Geffen officially posted on their social platforms. In these final performances, Ayana, Lexie, Emily, and Samara performed the song We Ride. Meanwhile, Sakura, Lexie, Emily, and Samara performed the song Party Before the Party. From these two performances, I agree that Ayana would have been a better fit for SAINT SATINE because, number one, she's actually similar in age to Lexie, Emily, and Samara, who are 20 and 21. 2. Ayana is a better vocalist than Sakura, or at least the song that Ayana performed has more opportunity for her to show her vocal skills. I mentioned frequently in my previous K-pop videos that I place more importance on the music standing on its own, and I feel like we would have gotten that a little bit more with Ayana because I actually think that she is not bad at singing. So I reckon because of that, there would be an incentive for the team to do more vocal heavy tracks. I mean, you never know. I'm still waiting for a ballad title track from Katseye. I know it's too early to base any sorts of judgment because there's only like 2 official songs out and both of them are not performed by the same combination of people, to which I also say it's very weird that the final performances have Ayana and Sakura performing different songs. And I'm not entirely sure if this is like a good decision because on one hand, Sakura is not able to show her vocal skills because the parts that she actually has in Party Before the Party is mostly just like speak singing, so you can't really vouch for her skills as a singer. And on the other hand as well, with Ayana, I feel like Party Before the Party had a more like upbeat and complicated choreography, so you can't really see how Ayana would also do performing Party Before before the party. So it's like, why not let the two girls perform these two songs? One song is to assess their vocal capabilities and the other song is to assess their dancing skills. I think it just opens up a lot of vulnerabilities, especially for Sakura, who is already on thin ice with a lot of fans over being quote-unquote not as talented as Ayana. But alas, Sakura is the person they picked as the final piece. As much as I'm baffled by this decision, the biggest thing I feel right now is how worried I am for Sakura. I feel that Hybe and Geffen are putting Sakura in a very vulnerable position. I can only hope that the team actually knows what they're doing and they're prepared to protect her. Again, I cannot get over the fact that they don't have the two girls performing the two songs. By having Ayana perform We Ride, the more vocally complex song, Sakura is now left at a position where people will question her place in Saint Satine, especially as a vocalist. We Ride gives the opportunity for all of the members to sing. Meanwhile, Sakura in Party Before the Party feels like she doesn't have a lot of parts, and the parts that she actually had were mostly speak singing and saying random phrases. I don't have enough expertise on dancing, but I can tell that Sakura put in the work, but she still needs time to hone her precision specifically. She hits the moves, but not as sharp as the other girls, and this sort of coordination and muscle, you have to build it over time. I've been going to physiotherapy because I was hit by a car and my knees sometimes act up. So when I went to the physiotherapist, he told me that I need to do some physical fitness. And he also noticed that I've never done any physical fitness in my lifetime. So he's like, you don't really have a lot of skills and it'll take a really long time for me to be able to get used to doing these exercises. My form is sloppy, but I'm trying to exercise a little bit more. And he noticed that after like 6 months, he said, I'm getting a bit better, but I still have a long way to go. But these sorts of things, like being able to get that form and being able to get the precision and the muscle control, all of those things take time because it's something that you have to gradually develop and something that your body has to get used to. So it's not something that you can force into a person's body. It's something that you just have to let naturally develop. I reckon with Sakura, if she keeps working, she'll get that precision, but that's also something that you can't really force her to have immediately. It has to come with time too. Compare that to Ayana, who had like previous experience and previous training, so her moves already feel sharper. For the judges who really wanted Sakura to be part of Saint Satine, they kept talking about her potential and how Sakura has that potential. And I can see that based on the performance she gave, but there's this factor of time and patience. I still firmly believe that Sakura should remain in training as a trainee, not as someone who has a guaranteed spot in the group, because she still has a long way to go to not only develop her skills, but also because she's still a kid. Part 2. She should be in school! In my Manon video, I touch upon my speculation and theory that these companies tend to debut young people, even minors, because not only will they have the endurance to go through all these crazy schedules, but also because they don't have enough experience or enough confidence to draw boundaries, to prioritize their mental health, or to request rest when it comes down to it. And I think the Manon situation illuminated to us that this romanticization of hard work to the point of injuries and pain is not really required to be a capable entertainer. Sometimes it's not even worth it. That's not to discredit hard work, but to what end? To what end? Do we let these people torture themselves with working so hard just for our entertainment? Doing my Manon video and overall the situation with Manon and Katseye, this whole thing made me think about my relationship and my consumption of K-pop. Over the years, I've kind of grown out of the fandom. I still listen to the odd music here and there, but I'm not as up to date as I was in the past. I reckon one of the reasons for this is I just got disillusioned by the K-pop training system, especially the amount of hardships it brought for the people who had to undergo the training and the grueling schedule. I get that these trainees and artists sign up to be part of this, but that is also not an invitation to overwork people either. Again, to what end? The question I keep asking myself is, am I enabling the system by joyously consuming these people's work? This conundrum that I have not only pertains to K-pop, but it's also something in the back of my mind as someone who really loves watching old Hollywood films. As good as those movies were, sometimes they're not made in the most ethical way. A lot of people had to endure abuse in the creation of certain motion pictures, and while I can certainly appreciate the art that comes out of it, it also makes me feel melancholic.
She has a touch of melancholy once in a while.
It's melancholy.
Oh, it's
Dan.
melancholy. I'm sorry.
To think about the suffering that people had to experience just to make this thing. I'm not vilifying anyone who enjoys K-pop, but it's also important to consider these kinds of things. I don't think you can entirely turn a blind eye to this, because anytime I watch a performance and think about how good it is, I'm also thinking about what the artist had to go through in the training and what they had to give up to sing and dance for me for 2 minutes. When reflecting on their career, a lot of older K-pop stars lamented not experiencing normal things like dating, worrying about school, etc. While there's a possibility they're only saying that to endear themselves to the audience, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a kernel of truth to this. Think about the child stars who also talked about similar things, how being in the industry since a young age deprived them from experiencing things kids should experience. As a result, it impacts the way they interact with the world, including the way they struggle to interact with people their age. And that's because they are forced to mature at a young age. Not to mention the kind of world these kids are subjected to, because Hollywood and LA can be nasty with its alcohol and drug problem. With Sakura being officially part of Saint Satine at 16, it made me think about what I was doing when I was her age. That would have been so long ago. But when I was 16, I went to school, hung out with friends, made silly home videos with them, and I went to the movies with my friends and with my family. My biggest concerns were studying and getting good grades so I can go to a good school, and also if I can watch the newest Marvel movie on the first day to avoid spoilers. I would say these things are pretty low stakes, right? Because I'm still a kid. My worry shouldn't be about mortgages or whether or not I can climb the corporate ladder. It's not all happy things though. Let's just say it, being a teenager sucks. You don't fully understand yourself, but that's normal because you're not supposed to know. You're still a kid. Those years and your 20s are supposed to be the years where you discover and understand yourself. Going through puberty also sucks. I still remember how painful it was when I got my first period. Like, no one told me it was going to be that painful and I was just like dying. I was also bullied at school. Thankfully, not terribly, but at that moment, I still felt incredibly bad. The only good thing was that it only happened within like school grounds. So I can't imagine what it would be like for Sakura, who will be subjected to no doubt so much more vitriol because of the internet. With people's easy access to the internet and the anonymity afforded to them from being able to hide behind a username and behind profile pictures, there will be a large volume of hate comments. To which I say, people really shouldn't bully Sakura because again, like, she's a kid and she worked hard, and Hybe and Geffen were the ones who put her in this position. I'll keep saying this again and again, she is still a kid, and the adults in this scenario were the ones who made the decision for her. Yes, she signed up to be in the competition, but it's also like Hybe and Geffen could just wait until she was older, until she has developed her skills further before putting her into the group. But people, once more, I beg of you, please don't bully her about her skills or about her appearance. To that end as well, I hope Hybe and Geffen are prepared to protect her because, as we know, people are horrible on the internet. Manon and Lara were and still are subjected to a lot of racist comments. What did Hybe and Geffen do to protect them? I'm truly rooting for Sakura. Like, I want good things for her and I hope that she will be okay. It must be daunting for her to enter this group where like Lexie, Emily, and Samara probably already have this bond from being in Dream Academy. Not to mention, of course, the age difference between the girls. The older three girls are about 20 and 21 and Sakura is like 16. Usually in groups, from what I observed, there's at least a couple of people within the same age range. Like in Mamamoo, Solar and Moonbyul were born in 1991 and 1992 respectively. Meanwhile, Win and Hwasa were both born in 1995, but it's like both of them are in similar age group, so the age difference isn't that glaring, and they have appear within the same age group, so I feel that's a bit more balanced. Whereas with Sakura, she's just the only one who is 16, and not to mention as well the language barrier. But I reckon she will also have a lot of fun being part of the group. A lot of people can only dream of being in this position, and she must have sacrificed a lot to be part of it. I just hope Hybe and Geffen won't mistreat her just because she's still a young kid, and they will do their best to support her and equip her to handle the pressures that will come her way. With that said, I would love to know what you guys think, especially if you've watched World Scout The Final Piece. I probably won't. I have a really weird relationship with survival competition shows. The thing is, like, I'm fine with watching stuff like The Voice or American Idol, but when it comes to K-pop survival competition shows, I just feel incredibly bad for the people in the show. It makes me feel sad watching these kids be pushed to the limit and then to see them get rejected and seeing them crying and all of those things. Like, no, it'll just make me feel sad. Back to the topic, please let me know what you think about Sakura being part of Saint Satine. Overall, just leave your comments below, guys. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, comment, and share it. And consider subscribing to the channel too for more commentaries, video essays, and other fun, well, I hope they're fun, other random videos. A Daredevil video and a Devil Wears Prada 2 video will be coming out soon as well, double devils, so please look forward to those videos. Apart from that, have a good night, day, dusk, dawn, middle of the night, middle of the day, whatever time it is you're watching this video. Thank you for letting me be part of your day, and I hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye!